Hi, this is Dodger, and you're watching my show.
3, 2, 1, ready, go!
So, welcome to my news show at midnight. Maybe I should even upload this at midnight. That way, it'll feel like it all makes sense. So, okay, here's what happened. I'm gonna be gone this weekend. I'm gonna be visiting my parents and hanging out with them. And I realized, oh, I need to make a video ahead of time. And so now, I'm leaving tomorrow morning at like 6 a.m. and it's midnight. So, we're gonna make it now! It's totally gonna work out. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna look great, and details are gonna be spot on. Don't worry about it. Also, as per usual, when I make a video ahead of time, if really important stuff happened in the next, like, day that is not in this video, I'm sorry. I did my best. For our first piece of news, if you have not seen the Persona 5 trailer yet, you need to watch it now. It is so cool. It looks so good, just so clean. I just love the aesthetic of Persona games. But I feel like we've been wanting something more than a teaser, you know? We've been wanting like a full-on trailer, and this is definitely that. Because like not only do we get some cinematic stuff, we get to see, you know, the like anime bits of the actual game that are in every Persona game, by the way. We get to see a little bit of actual like gameplay, like footage from within the game, so that's cool. So for me, there are two things that are kind of interesting about this. Number one is that this game is making so many people come out of the woodwork and be like, oh, a reason to use a PS4. I can't wait to buy one. Because Sony had already created this niche group of people who were like, oh, give me the JRPGs, please. And they haven't really given us anything that's worth buying a PS4 over, like, to be totally frank. So now people are going, all right, we got Final Fantasy 15 coming out, we've got Kingdom Hearts coming out, we've got Persona, and the trailer looks dope, like, alright, I'm kinda in now. So I feel like this is sort of a turning point for PlayStation 4, and I'm wondering whether or not Xbox is gonna start coming out with the sort of stuff that its core fan base is gonna really love. And Destiny was, you know, on the PS4, so that's been like the big shooter game that's come out for people to play. So I don't really know what Microsoft is doing. The other thing for me, of course, is like, oh, are we gonna play another Persona that's about how boring high school is? Because that's still interesting. Like in the gameplay sequence, we even got that standard shot of the protagonist sitting in class and looking out the window boredly. I just hope that it's a little bit different. The trailer makes it seem like the actual meat of the game is totally different, which I'm super into. So I just hope that this isn't yet another like, high school sort of a game. Hello, little girl. What? What is it? What you meowing about? What's happening? Who are you? For any of you who are big Smash fans, you were probably hanging out being like, aw yeah, Apex is coming up. This was last weekend, by the way. So you probably know all the drams that happened, but hello everybody who is not in the Smash community. Allow me to impart some information to you because it was so interesting to me. So Apex is a Smash Brothers tournament, like a big one, and it was supposed to be taking place at the Clarion Hotel right outside of New York City. Now it just so happened that the hotel had to be inspected because part of the basement or part of the carport had like caved in. There was a big storm, lots of snow, as is normal on the East Coast, and they had some structural issues. So the whole hotel was being inspected. Turned out there were lots of problems with the hotel to the point where they were talking about canceling the event altogether because they had like quite a few situations where they had things planned and then whatever ballrooms or rooms in the hotel they were supposed to use were like totally closed down. So they said, all right, well, I guess we'll push it and try to make it work. And then it just scaled up and up and up until Apex was supposed to be called off entirely. So after lots of panicking and worrying and wondering, oh my God, are we gonna have to like do it another time? But people have already come out. They've like booked hotel rooms. Like, what do we do? Apparently, thanks to Twitch, there is a place called the Garden State Convention Center, and that is where they were able to relocate at the last minute. And from there, Apex went off without a hitch, which is fantastic. Like, I love that something like that had so much support and so much community behind it. I mean, come on, Smash Brothers. Like, so many people cared about Apex, and in the end, they were able to make the best out of a bad situation, and thank goodness. Ignoring the fact that pretty much all of the comment sections about this particular situation are talking about why people are still playing Melee. I mean, okay, look, here's the situation. Like, Smash Bros. 4 for Wii U, right? Apparently is like better in every way compared to Melee. Like, fixes so many issues, is way more balanced, although everybody is, you know, sobbing over Diddy Kong, I don't even know. But like, people are starting to feel like this could be the next big competitive Smash Brothers. And so there's this huge war that keeps breaking out in comment sections where people are like, why is everybody playing Melee when Smash 4 is obviously way better? And then people responding with, well, you don't understand because Melee has like years of people really playing it hardcore and establishing the meta, so they're not gonna play a game that like just came out. It's like so funny, you guys. I love it. I mostly love it because Sam is so invested in all of it, like that makes it just so much better. Sony Online Entertainment sold themselves, which is pretty awesome. Why do I say that's awesome? Because really, Sony Online Entertainment hasn't worked quite as closely with Sony recently. Like, they have been considered pretty much a totally separate entity regardless of the name. So they sold themselves to a management company in New York City called Columbus Nova, I believe, and they've renamed themselves because obviously, like, you know, they're not part of Sony anymore, so they had to kind of like come up with a new name. So now they are Daybreak Game Company, LLC. For those of you who can't put a company to a game, they do EverQuest. They are working on EverQuest Next. They do H1Z1, which, you know, is in early access. That's the term I'm looking for. I think the thing a lot of people are wondering is, does this mean that they can start developing for multi-platform? Because they couldn't really do that before. And the answer is, yeah, they're like really excited to start actually working with Microsoft on stuff because obviously they really couldn't do that before. So now they can develop games for a variety of platforms and really like express themselves through lots of different, I don't know. I don't want to say game systems, but like, accessories isn't the word either. I'm trying to think of like the term for like what the Kinect is and what, I don't know, the Wii like wheel is, like all that sort of stuff. I don't know. I can't remember the word for it, but somebody out there, you know, starts with an A, pretty sure. Oh goodness, I'm the worst. I'm Googling it. I can't do this. Peripheral. The word that I'm looking for is peripheral. It does not begin with an A at all because I was still stuck on the word accessories and it's just, peripheral. They'll be able to use lots of different peripherals and express themselves that way. That's all I was trying to say. Oh my god. A lot of people have really been enjoying Dying Light. It's, you know, it's another zombie survival-y game, but it's got parkour in it, which, you know, at least makes that more interesting. So people have been using this game to kind of come up with weird little extra things that you can do. Like, okay, so in H1Z1 right now, there's a fight club, which is like a really strange thing. So the reason that I mention that is because in Dying Light, you know, you can do more than that because you have all of these different sort of motion abilities. So rather than just being like, let's make a fight club where, you know, we walk around like this and then go, and just like punch each other every now and then. So in Dying Light, people are doing things like, there's a YouTuber who, he beat the entire game with only punches and kicks. And when you kick in this game, because of like the parkour elements, you like jump really high and just like dive kick. So a lot of the boss fights wind up just being like, and then like back up and because not only are there zombies, there's also humans, right? So like the humans are obviously gonna, you know, be a bit more active and a bit more able to counter your stuff, so it's a lot of just like it's just like so weird. And like being able to parkour and use the environment a bit more, I think is better suited to a goal like that, right? Is having a bit more options with how you use your body rather than, like I was saying before, just being like, let's punch each other. That's mostly what we can do. But yeah, a lot of people have been liking Dying Light. They, you know, had some starting up troubles, which, you know, lots of people do. But yeah, it's apparently been going pretty good. I will find that guy who did that thing, who did the only punches run, and link you to that. Aight? Should make more videos late at night. I have so much energy. If you play Dark Souls 2, this is so exciting. There is a DLC pack called Scholar of the First Sin, and not only does it change lots of things within the game, it changes the ending. But maybe not in the way that you'd expect. It just gives you an option with the ending. Because in Dark Souls, you had an option, right? At the end, you got to make your final choice that determined a lot. In Dark Souls 2, you didn't have an option. Like, without spoiling anything, you did what was expected of you. Does that spoil stuff? A lot of people found that to just be really unfulfilling because, like, you went through this whole big quest with this guy, right? Or girl, like, whatever. And then in the end, you didn't have a choice about what their future was. And that was, you know, that bothered a few people. So they decided, you know what? Let's put a final choice in there. Let's let them decide whether or not they're going to do what is expected of them. And like, I think that that's super cool. It makes me want to go back and do that final battle again and see what the end would be like that way. Although I still haven't even done the DLC, so I don't know. But this new extra stuff is going to change the game quite a bit. It's going to have a bit of a mix-up with the different enemies that you fight, and it's going to add some difficulty in different places, so I don't know, it sounds pretty cool. It sounds like a pretty major patch, like a pretty big overhaul of stuff. So that's really cool. I love that they haven't really closed the book on it yet. And a lot of people are starting to think maybe they did this because they're already planning out Dark Souls 3. And so rather than have it end in that sort of a definitive way, giving you a choice will kind of lead you into thinking about the future of the series as a whole, and thus it'll lead into Dark Souls 3, right? So I kind of like that. I like that idea. But who knows? Either way, I think it'll be super cool to touch that again. To touch that's butt. To touch that's butt. Yeah, that's a thing. And for our final bit of news, Netflix is talking about developing a live-action Legend of Zelda series. People have reached out trying to get more deets, and Nintendo's like, that's a rumor. You don't know. Which totally makes sense, because let's be honest, every single time Nintendo has been like, okay, yeah, make a show, or yeah, alright, make a movie. It's turned out, like, not good. Like, let's be honest. The original Legend of Zelda series from the 80s was bad, and also the Mario movie, not great. So I guess right now they're like currently looking for a writer, like they're in the very, very low stages of this thing. So either one of them could call it off at any moment. We have no idea whether or not this is actually going to be a thing. But yeah, everybody seems pretty jazzed. Netflix, I'm just saying, if you want a lady in a thing, I would love to be that. Or if you want to like Peter Pan it up and I could be Link, you know, like gender bend it all. I'm into that too. Look, whatever feels right, Netflix. I'll do whatever. It's like not a big deal. Netflix, you're smothering me, okay? Like maybe I don't even want to do it anymore. Anyways, yeah, I would love that. I would really love that because Netflix so far, well, okay, for the most part, I'm not gonna say that it's a blanket statement, but for the most part, Netflix has done like really good stuff, like really on point stuff. So if they did a Legend of Zelda series, the way that they've pitched it, right, is like, it would be Game of Thrones, but for a younger audience, which I think is like the perfect way to come at it. Like have all of the same intrigue, all of the same sword and sorcery sort of aspects, and you know, all of the different political things going on, but not have it be, you know, R-rated, not have boobies all over the place. Like have it be something that a kid could watch, but that an adult could also appreciate because of the different elements of intrigue that they could put in there. Like I think that would be awesome. I would love that. So anyways, look, Netflix, I know, I'm sorry I pushed you away. I want you back, if you'll have me. Anywho, that is my show. Thank you so much for watching. If you have a positive or a negative response, feel free to leave it in my comment section. And if you'd like to have coffee with me, you can click wherever I put the annotation and it'll take you to my other channel. But otherwise, I hope that you guys have had a fantastic week. Thank you so much for putting up with my late night Dooger episode. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you guys again the next weekend. All right? Bye-bye. Mwah. Netflix, you're smothering me, okay? Like, maybe I don't even want to do it anymore.